So it's about concept of that. Like I tried to simplify Dota, the most simplistic way possible. So anyone can just copy paste it and apply it and do the most important job in the Dota to win Dota actually. And it was without any advanced stuff to it. It was like absolutely like the core concept of it. And I set it like some rules basically to like stick to them and apply them, and they were like very simple, and I just ignored everything else. So I will just try to read them and find what were those rules.
Sure.
Uh,
So basically, which concepts you try to apply, like
yeah, it was. Uh, Somebody's writing in chat. I will just read what they write. Why does Sinner sound like Kuroki? Yeah, so the let's the game can be split into like three parts. Like two of them, the mechanics are required, but the main one, the middle one, no mechanics are required much. Like anybody can do that. So the laning stage is about mechanics, so that might be struggle for somebody. I didn't got like in this replay I didn't got into any like concept to like simplify it much, other than just like learn some tactic how to play the lane, like
hmm.
that needs to be like coached or whatever. Like I didn't got into the laning. Um, and the second part where it requires some mechanic skills is in the late game, in the like last fight, like in fighting scene when you reach there like high ground, like sieging.
Sure. So maybe the best
Uh,
here is like,
so
if you wanna have some insights on the laning stage here, you can tell us. But maybe the best is to just fast forward through it.
yeah, sure. So you don't have to if you don't want to, because I'm gonna be talking about what I did in the mid stage basically, and it was pretty simplistic. So I will first like sum up it in like like one or two sentence, and then I say the whole thing like with all those like still simplistic stuff. But so the goal was basically to only play on the top, like as a radiant, only play on the top half of the map, which means top lane and mid lane. And whenever I see, like I drew some line, and whenever I see creeps went past that line, I just go there and shove it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's it. So
So
I
you
just
have
press
like
Q.
a imaginary line on your head here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. So that line always like constantly changes. And now I will like go more into details. So like how I did it exactly. Like just so it's like more like understandable and more uh, applicable. Uh,
Okay.
so uh,
Like I
so
think
I
we
draw
can see the line
first.
where you actually write a line on the map here, or it's just in your head.
Yeah, I think yeah. Sometimes even because while I was playing, I was explaining it to the guys that I played with. So
Uh-huh.
sometimes I even draw the line and stuff. But that line can be absolutely random. It doesn't have to be the line that I was like
Okay. Yes, sure.
doing right there. But yeah. So first I'm reading it like through what I wrote to. So first there was I draw a line, and if they kill me like while like I drew some line and they kill me there, I will make that line smaller, like my because I always need to like first like assume where that line probably is. Like usually people are pretty good at like drawing the line like where they can die and stuff. But I would suggest to first like put it more aggressive, like more further deadline
Mhm.
than passive, and rather like learn like where you can like die rather from it. And then once you die, you realize like what killed you.
Mhm.
Maybe itemize versus it, or just draw the or play differently so you cannot die next time, and draw the line smaller or draw the line smaller. Okay, if tower dies, I make bigger line. So whenever tower dies, I make that line bigger, of course.
Mhm.
Uh, every approximately 10 seconds, I check the minimap
Mhm.
and check if top is pushed past that line. Then I check the mid if it's pushed. If it's not, if top is not pushed past that line, I go top.
Okay.
So yeah, so I always prioritize top and mid, and I prioritize
So
more top
I
than
think
the
that
mid.
right now it is best to align here.
I'm not watching the replay right now. Like I'm reading what I wrote here, just
Oh,
so
okay, okay.
yeah,
So you just TP to mid, probably
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
it's past your imaginary light here line.
Yeah, yeah, my imaginary line on mid was probably when it's like in river, in middle of river.
Yeah, it
It,
is. It
I
is.
should shove it like it's my line was probably on mid was the high ground of the enemy.
So basically, you're focusing here on the replay on just shoving waves here, right?
Yeah, and Andlord is actually like perfect to like do this concept because it's just very primitive. You just press Q on the wave, it
Yeah.
kills it instantly. You don't have to do anything else. So I just press Q and run away. You don't care about anything else. Um,
So basically, our idea here
yeah.
is
So
showing
uh,
important concept of shoving waves, like it's showing how important it is and etc. Right?
it's the most important thing in whole Dota. Like shoving waves, it gives you so much. Like we can get into like so many like 10 concepts of why it is good, what it gives you and stuff like it's for long talkings, but basically it's the most important job, and somebody in your team has to do it, otherwise your game is always gonna like suffer usually in like 90% of the games. So um yeah, so another thing, okay, I'm gonna read next.
Yeah. You see, you shove the wave mid, and then you're coming back to
Okay,
the
if
top. Yeah.
yeah, and okay, and if both lanes every 10 seconds I do it approximately, or whenever I have free time or whatever.
Hmm.
So I press Q and click, for example, right click away, and while I right clicked away, I just check the minimap again to see what is pushed or what is not pushed, like past that line, and I don't care about anything else. So if both are pushed, if both lanes are pushed, then I can do whatever. That's my rule number, let's say 2 or whatever. I
Hmm.
can do whatever, but again, to super simplify it, what I do is I just go hit jungle creeps.
Yeah. Whenever
I
the
just
lanes
go
are
hit
pushed.
jungle creeps. Yeah, I just go hit the jungle creeps. How I do it, I just press Q, whatever.
Hmm.
And then again, while I doing it, I just check the lanes. Like if those lanes are not pushed, you can absolutely ignore jungle creeps. Those absolutely doesn't matter. Like they don't matter at all. Like you can even in middle of the killing the creep wave, you just can go immediately to the lane. It doesn't matter. You will like win this way more. Like the if you do it faster and faster. So, uh, okay.
So yeah, I think we got an important point here. Like,
Uh,
I
yeah,
don't know
yeah,
if
but
you're watching.
about
Like, uh, so people are just on top here because you shove the wave, right? So the enemies are on
uh,
top here because you shove the wave. And this enables your team, right bottom, for killing the Undying and also taking the tower.
yeah, I will even talk about this. This game is actually pretty cool. Like this game is very perfect because this was one of the games where it was the worst possible, one of the worst possible scenarios for me, and also it shows one cool concept of drawing that line, like changing that line. Like changing where you draw the line. It was very perfect, like with disruptor, because normally, like I know what disruptor does and how he can stop me every time I push the lane, because he has like W versus me and he has also the silence. So this was actually super perfect scenario where I like intentionally died for it. And whenever I died for it, I changed my plan and made it so I will survive the stuff that he did to me. So first time he like ulted me,
Mm-hmm.
which means he silenced me, which means it prevent me from casting ultimate to escape. So next time I preemptively ulted, something like
Oh,
that.
I see. I see.
And when I preemptively ulted, he W'd me or something like that. I don't know how I did it. Maybe I TP'd. I think I needed to ult. Yeah, I ulted, and he W'd me. So yeah. So and in both cases, he like killed me, and I still won the game, which is like pretty cool. But yeah, like the goal is here like to apply this and try not to die, of course. But even if you die, you can still like win those games. Like you can mess up like few times. It's no problem. Plus every game you're gonna apply this, you're gonna like learn from it, which is very cool. Like
Mm-hmm.
to learn how you can die from people. Okay, so next part. So if another point is if some like third point, let's say, if somebody else is pushing it, like if somebody else is in the lane in top or mid and pushing it, even if it's like past the line that I drew, meaning that normal if nobody was there, I would go there. If somebody else is doing it from my team, like if somebody else is there, then I will not go there.
Okay. Okay. Then you go do like. Then your approach is like if someone is doing it, I do in other lane. If there is no other lane, you hit the crypts on jungle.
Exactly. Like, yeah, my goal. Yeah, exactly. My goal are only those two lanes. I check top. If top is somebody doing it, I check mid. If mid is somebody doing it, I don't. I do whatever I want, which is simplifying it, jungling. Um, yeah. Also the jungling, just for you guys informations, just don't TP to jungle. Like your goal is too far, like jungle near those two lanes. So usually it's gonna like as a radiant, it's gonna be only those two jungle camps at top and triangle. Like no other jungle is allowed. Basically, I don't even come across to the opposite half part of the map. Um, okay, and if another also to advance this third part, like if somebody else is pushing it, I will not go there. But if I am already there and he's suddenly like pushing with me, then I have decision of I drew the line further
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I'm stronger, kind of, right?
Yeah.
So let me guess that I might go even further because now I'm 2 versus 5, not 1 versus 5. So I might drew the line further. I don't have to, but I might. Uh, if
So especially because they don't have a
I-
mobile hero here, they always need to respond to your push, right?
so once again, what was the question?
So they don't have a mobile hero on their lineup, so they always need to like stop their push or stop pressuring you guys on the part of your map because they need to respond to your push. Otherwise, they lose objectives.
Yes, and they will lose it eventually, anyways. Like if they suck.
Mm-hmm.
Like look at it, right? Like I only queued the wave top and mid, and look, two towers are dead, or let's say minimum that one tower is dead, right? So yeah, here it was again like I did some, the basic concept, right? I absolutely fucked it up. I didn't like watched even how many heroes were there. I didn't TP to the tower, let's say. I ulted to basically that lane to push it out. I absolutely uh, like absolutely like panicked or whatever, let's say, like the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Herald can do, right?
Yes.
It cost us the tower, but still, like it, you can still win this, yeah.
Yeah.
So avoid these, like try to be like more like but like knowledge. What's the word? Uh, like more looking around, like to see how many heroes are there and stuff, and what you're like ulting towards. But if you still had that plan, like how to escape, you should done this. Like
Mm-hmm.
you should just ult somewhere and try it, like execute it, no matter if it works or not. So they killed me again because I did some like the job of pushing it. Okay, so another concept, the fourth one, like the after you have done this, the only time that you will change this is when four teammates group up and you already pushed the top and mid. Only time that you will not go to top and mid and join your team is when they group up as four.
Okay, and after you shove the waves.
And only after you shove top and mid. Or let's actually I have written there after you shoved two lanes. After
Mm-hmm.
two lanes are shoved.
Mm-hmm.
So your job is top and mid, but in case your whole team as four pushed the bottom and you pushed one of those two lanes, then I would say you can join them,
Mm-hmm.
because you have two lanes pushed.
Okay, okay.
But it will never be that, oh, I have only one lane pushed out of top and mid, and my team didn't push bottom, so I will join them and push bottom. No, no, no. You need to have like two before you join them. And that's the fourth point. And that's like the basic of this. It's pretty much it. And then I added some like more things to it that are like detailed that helps you to improve your win rate even more, which is I'm reading them right now. Yeah, and if I join my team, I farm near them. If fight breaks out, I just cast some spells, pretty primitive. Uh, yeah, and then I have like some side notes. Like if you notice in that replay, only time where I casted actually spells on any other like enemy or whatever, it was only when they were literally like
In your
inside
tower.
of that wave inside of that wave that I was clearing.
Okay.
Like for example, there was like Spectre top, so I instead of only casting Q on the creep wave, I just casted Q and W just to root them in her and press Shiva just to damage her. But it was on like everything should be see like here for example the disruptor, right? I was
Yeah,
pushing
yeah,
top,
yeah.
right? And I just even W'd it. I don't care about like kills or fighting. No, like my first priority, which is like the simplistic one and the best one and cool one, and easy to execute, is focusing on that creep wave. Only reason why I would like press other spells is just they are literally on that lane, like doing something. So I just cast this and cast Q on creep wave and
Mm-hmm.
easy.
Mm-hmm.
So that always damaged them so low HP and stuff. I didn't like, oh, there's disruptor, I will kill him and ignore this wave. No, no, never. Just stick to the plan and easy. Um,
I see.
uh, Yeah, so for example, only time when I would again like cast spells is when I'm like walking from one lane to another and that guy shows there. Like that guy is some in between of those two lanes, and I know like my Q has low cooldown, right? So let me just cast Q and W on that guy. If he dies, right? And let me walk to that creep wave.
Mm-hmm.
Like only time I kill them is if they are literally inside the path that I'm going to. Um,
Okay.
uh,
So let me
what
just answer the chat here. So Viking is asking why both AC and Shivas. I think the item build doesn't matter here. You're just doing this for.
Yeah, that was I basically asked my Herald friends what they would buy, and they just told me some items, and I bought them. But buying items is like pretty important as well. Like really, like like requires like thinking. But point was that um, you don't have to always have the perfect item, and it might still work. So for example, here you just like realize what kills you and try to build against it. So for example, which damage they have. So I look at the Mars, he has some kind of like magical damage, right? And actually he has even the physical, right? Then OD has like pure damage, and he he right clicks or Spectre has also like some kind of physical. Disruptor has small magical, Undying has small
Mm-hmm.
magical. Like I would say the guys that so how I would itemize if we want to talk about it. First, I need to itemize to win my lane, meaning I need to itemize versus heroes that I play against on lane. So I played versus Spectre and Disruptor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think my first item was Hood, just for the reasons of Disruptor is the most damage dealer in
Yeah,
that lane.
magic wand.
Plus Dagger,
Magic stick is
Dagger,
decent too.
Dagger is also like the magic, right?
Yeah.
And even if mid laner, let's say ganks or whatever, mid laner again, like he has magic, let's buy Hood, But mainly like I'm building against the lane. Once I build item against the lane, then I build item against like to do my just job the best basically, and everything that allows me to queue the wave without dying. That can be like many items, but if you guys like not super sure, you can try anything you want. But basically, you can, for example, try to build against heroes that has gonna have the highest net worth. So here I had some kind of like armor stuff because their most net worth guy are just right clickers or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like if you guys know that the OD actually deals damage if you guys don't have intelligence or whatever. So like items like Shiva gives you intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can just buy since they have right clicks and it's not even armor that stops them, but it's just right clicks.
Then
You
halberd,
can
yeah.
think of like, yeah, like exactly evasion, for example, or whatever. But if you guys bought even different stuff, it would be still fine. If you guys bought BKB, for example, it would stop them as well, right? It would stop OD. It's actually even better item, right? Like I would survive. I would just BKB and TP out, right? Out of any danger. So there are many more like even better builds than this. Like this is just some gen like you know most people could come up with this.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they have in mind that they should survive, like their goal is to not die versus enemy. So probably if you know that this is your goal, you will probably not go like I don't know, like Hex, the Dagon, and Rapier, right? No. I have some more like side notes to that. So once I kill tier 2 tower top, like once I kill tier 2 tower on the, of course, if I would play on the dire, I would shove mid and bottom. So once I kill tier 2 tower on the side lane, then I every like let's say 5 minutes, every 5 minutes I announce my teammates that some nicely psychologically way that we might take rush because and uh, every 5 minutes I just tell them I advise them to do so or whatever, and I only like talk like say this when I push the mid and top
Mm-hmm.
because that's the most favorable for me to say it basically, or slightly preemptively you guys can tell them like you push one lane, you're going to the next, and while you're going to the next you guys tell them to we might take rush, and even if we don't have heroes that take the rush or whatever, just tell them, simplify it for yourself. Every single game do it. Like here in this game I did it, and we never took the rush, we never did it, like my teammates never went there, and I even have them in the in the in the team speak. But still, like
Uh,
there's some chances it improves you the chances that they will get it, and it's gonna be for free. Uh,
so I see. Maybe we can give some insights on the why, like, just literally shoving waves, was so important for you to win this game. Like, let's say, I think one point here is exactly when they were pushing your towers, like, on mid, and they didn't shove wave, and you actually shoved the wave top before it. So you probably could only take those objectives because the wave top was shoved, and they didn't shove it back. So probably if they shoved all the waves before pushing, which would be correct, of course you would unshove it. But if they had done this, they probably wouldn't even lose an objective there because it would take time for you guys to reach their base with the creeps. You agree?
I didn't understand it fully. I'm a little bit
Like
scared.
like at this moment here, so they were diving you on your base, right? Before they dive it, you just shove it the wave top, right?
Yeah, because it's applies because of what I said about the lines. I drew the line on mid. Where do you think I drew the line? Do you think it's still on the mid? I can
Hmm.
also say this, for example, I can say that whenever my tower dies, I will make my line smaller. Because
Yes.
I had the same advice to when tower dies on the enemy team, try to make the line bigger. So this is the same. So where do you think I drew the line if my all three towers or two towers are dead? I just drew it on my high ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But
one
on mid
one
tower, on
so,
mid, right?
on mid, yeah. So
But what I want to
once
point
first,
is the importance like right now. So they were doing Roshan and they go straight mid, but your side lanes are pushing. Meanwhile, like Riki and you just literally shove the waves, bottom and top, right? And then you come back to defend, and then you guys defend the base here, okay? And you guys win the team fight. But just imagine if you haven't shoved this wave, what would be the consequences of their death here? Probably nothing, right? Like right now.
yeah, yeah,
You guys just managed to take all their towers because their waves are
yeah,
shoved.
yeah. And just like small like hints if you guys want to know like why you will win like a lot of games is because like at some point your team like realizes that they have two lanes shaft and they will just take one good fight and you guys will win. In this game it didn't happen and we actually won on the that enemy went high ground because that's the second most impact like most common thing that enemy throw at high ground. So you gave to your team the most advantageous possibilities for you guys to take fights. We still haven't won single fight, I think, but like throughout the whole game. We haven't even took the rush, and we only won on the enemy that like dying on high ground and dying from our buybacks and everything or whatever, because we have 10 lives in the high ground, right? Uh, okay, so but those things like you guys don't need to pay attention to them. If you guys are heralds, just stick to the plan and just see what happens. Then you guys can analyze games why it probably happened and stuff. But like the main point is there. Okay, so uh, another thing. Yeah, also I didn't even care about jungle items. I just picked first jungle item I got. I just took it. um, you guys can some for like just for the point of it doesn't matter that much like those are like details, you know, just of course you can like of course pick the item that suits you the best if you know which item it is, but my point was basically the most important thing is the top and mid. Everything else doesn't matter that much. uh,
Yeah, well, if you play on Dire, you will do this on the bottom and mid, right?
yeah, bottom and mid. Yeah, so in this game there was the W ult from Disruptor and then the Abyssal that stops my TPs. Uh,
Oh, yeah, Viking Goten. Yes, these are good items for Underlar, but I think the purpose of first scenarios here is it like educational content on why shoving wave is so important. He literally just shoved the waves all the time and won the game in part because of that. Like mostly because of that.
yeah, even in the high ground, like I didn't change my concept basically. So here, since top and mid is pushed, I do whatever I want, and if my team is grouped, I try to farm near them right now, for example. There's nothing else. So top is not pushed, I push it. Even if it's pushing from Mega Creeps, I don't care. Like you guys can super simplify it. Just do it. Like realize that oh, I don't know how Mega Creeps works. I don't care. I just go top and push it. You know, it's up to you. So again, top and mid is pushed, so I farm near my teammates. I can do whatever. And again, if Rush was up, I would every 5 minutes I would advise them to take Rush. This was first time we took Rush, I think. Yeah, only
Yeah.
after all the Raxes and everything gone. This was first time my team suddenly realized that their Rush exists in Dota game. Uh, so uh, yeah, and I didn't even join the rush. That's also some, like funny thing. I focused on top and mid, like there's nothing else, right? So I was in jungle, and only reason why I fight is because they are preventing me from taking my jungle camps. You know, like they are in middle of like they are inside of the stuff that I wanted to do and set for myself at the beginning of the game. That's the only reason.
I
And
see.
another might be that my team was grouped as four, right? That also applies. Like my team was to group as four, so if they are group as four, I should fight. Right. Um, yeah, and even here you will see like funny stuff like happening. So I'm on mid, shoving it, right? Of course, there's some hero preventing me, you know. Maybe this is the end. Yeah, the fight before on the high ground, there was actually a concept of
Yeah.
even when we were pushing high ground, I still went top and pushed the wave. Like for the fun of it. Okay, and yeah, like once you guys feel like uh like survival enough, you guys can go the items that allows you to deal like more damage or whatever. I bought hex at the end, right? Or someone might say even the assault is already like some damagey item or whatever.
Mm, mm,
It's just because I was like survival enough. I didn't know what to buy else. Like maybe I could have bought even like some BKB or something, you know, like one
mm,
more item. But if you guys feel you guys are not dying while doing this, and you will not die while doing this, and you guys have some escape mechanic, just you don't have to buy stuff. Um, yeah, and just do this on Unlord is pretty simplistic because you guys have actually two very cool escapes like TP and Ultimate. They are very powerful. So just don't TP to your lanes. Just walk there or whatever. Just so you guys have one more escape mechanic.
mm. So your advice for lower brackets would be just to pick a wave shover, like on
Yeah.
offlane, and then just like shove waves. Like this is an important concept, guys,
Uh.
which you should practice it.
Yeah.
Like this is a
Yeah.
simple
Yeah.
concept, which like is really game changing, right?
It was brain dead concept. Like then like the Herald guy, like friend of mine, like looked at it and like I asked him like if he can like repeat what I just did, and he
Mm-hmm.
just like said like yeah, like I just queued the wave. Okay, easy. Like, it's pretty simple. And whenever I queue the wave, I just ran away. Of course, like I didn't even route it with because like yeah, like you guys don't care about CS. You guys don't care about CS on that wave. You just queue the wave. That's it, and then run away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I
Like,
think to finish, we can like to point some important concepts which are related to shoving waves. Like what happened when you shove a wave, guys? Like there are a lot of things which happens, of course. But basically,
and
the most obvious is vision. Like creeps are walking wards literally, so you get information on the map.
so
So
yeah.
the next
Uh,
one, I'd say it's creating pressure on the map. So you force people to go there and defend. So if the people are there, they are not somewhere else.
yeah, you're locking them down on that place.
So
In
Itachi is asking if it's just for Herald or for more ranks. I think this concept is for all ranks.
any
Like
rank, any
any
rank.
rank, it is shoving waves is important in any rank.
Yeah,
So
you
I'm just
can.
saying that like probably when you
I
start
can.
climbing MMR, you want to do something between shoving waves. But it's
Uh,
just so important shoving waves. It might be your priority. Yeah, it reminds you your void game real Jesus. But what are you going to say, Sinners?
I had actually a game. It was I don't know Divine 5 or whatever, and I just had the Unlord and I just did this, and we were super losing, and we still won. We
Uh,
just won because I did this.
mhm. Yes. Yes, I
Like
agree.
it's so powerful, you can just get immortal just with this. Uh, but you need to be like super perfect about this simplistic concept to get immortal, or you need to improve this concept like to the advanced level of things, like knowing like when to not do that, knowing perfect items, knowing where is perfectly the line, knowing some details around this. But for the like uh, through my experience, uh, 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 yeah, also it will what's gonna happen in higher tiers is that somebody else will do this. Like if I'm position 5 or offlaner or whatever,
Hmm.
in divine games this will not happen to me that I will have to do this. And um, because somebody else will do it.
Hmm.
So what's gonna happen is if I apply this concept, then I'm gonna be jungling Unlord all the time, right? Kind of.
So this means you
So
can be doing other stuff like
yeah, I
joining
can be
your
yeah.
friend. Yeah.
That's why I said like the do like you can do whatever you want, kind of whatever you can think of. Whenever you have shaft top and mid, that's why I wrote it there. But for the herald perspective, just we can translate the whatever you want to do, we can translate it to just jungling, but in higher tiers you need to come up with your own like plan and concept what you should be actually doing to create even more pressure on the enemy, like create even more like be more like annoying to the enemy. Then
Yeah. So if you're, let's say, if you're playing position one, would you still do it on top and mid?
I would do this if I played position one, top and mid. I would do it on any hero that shoves the lanes fast enough.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't do it on Bane.
Yeah, of course. But
And
let's say you're playing. I'm just
even
saying
I
because.
would still do it even on Bane.
Uh-huh.
If nobody else is doing it, I would do it on Bane, and but I would need to come up with how to do it fast. So I would need to buy Meteor Hammer.
Yeah. So,
Because
but
without this, you
I
guys will
mean,
not win. Yeah,
I'm just
what
asking
was
you about where you doing this. Like, would you still
same
do
lanes?
on mid and top? But I
Yeah,
want you to
yeah,
explain the reason why mid and top.
yeah. So why mid and top? It's the easiest play. So in most games, those two lanes will be the ones that are the most correct for the most part.
In
At
Radiant, right?
least on Radiant top and mid, yeah. And the reason why is because doing it on as Radiant on bottom and mid is way more aggressive approach. Like way more aggressive. It gives even less farm, let's say, kind of. If you're not strong enough to push the towers, it gives more less farm. It has some other like non-benefits to it, and I would only do it in mid and bottom as Radiant if your team is like way more fucking stronger. And yeah, it has like some other like
I think
uh,
there's an important concept here, which is
ex-
the map is not symmetric at all. So for people to defend bottom and mid, if the other if you're playing against Dire, so if you're playing on Radiant, if you shove bottom and mid, yeah, guys, I'm still doing analysis after this. Uh, like if you push bottom and mid while you're on Radiant, it's easier to enemies because it's shorter the distance between bot and mid. Like tier two, just imagine tier two, bottom and mid. They're really close, right? There's only the triangle between them. So it's faster for the enemy to de-shove both waves, right? While the top
yeah, yeah.
tower for them is far away from mid, so they need to
Well, many
walk.
like there's like many billion other concepts why it is like bad to do it on bottom and mid only. It's, for example, they have the high ground advantage on the triangle, so it's easier to defend everything. It's harder for you to escape from that place, just based on how the map looks like. Like you feel threatened because they cut you off from the sides while you're running away. They cut
Mhm.
you from the left. Like if you're pushing bottom, they cut you from the left side
Yeah.
if you're running away. And it's hard to tell anything. And yeah, like many other like bad stuff basically for you, just how map is looks like. And not only that, it's also that it's the easiest for the enemies to take. So uh, they actually want to go there. So it's not like you're forcing them to go somewhere they don't want to go.
Yeah.
That's why you want to go do it top, because even if they go there, then it's harder for them to push your tower, because it applies also for them. So
Yeah.
you're actually like forcing them to take the, like how I hate how I told you about the how you guys one time went to the top. Like I said, like guys, don't do this.
Yeah.
How you played the game with the what was that? Yeah, I don't know. Necro, I don't know. The guy that threw it basically, that outpositioned himself. I would still
Oh
not
yeah,
do
I
it
was playing
probably.
Necro. I was playing Necro.
Yeah, I would still not do it probably. Even if you guys were ahead, like fuck that. Like the
Yeah.
tower, also like another billion reasons. Like the tower isn't that good. You guys cannot take over the triangle anyways. You guys don't have natural hero that can stay there and farm.
Mhm.
Like so, for example, um, main main heroes uh, that sometimes have this kind of type of game that you guys don't take top and mid, but you guys take top and bot, is like lifestealers, juggernauts, morphlings, because those are like survivable enough to do so.
Mhm.
And also there is a concept of like which guy should threat, which carry should threaten like who should make the like who should make move the game forward. So, for example, sometimes CK doesn't want to leave his line, or like like heroes uh, that basically cannot go to top and mid, because they are threatened by some stronger hero.
Mhm.
So, if you play against Void, yeah, and you feel scared of his chrono, uh, and he still plays on his safe lane, and you're playing some carry that like outfarms him in the end, or is scared of him or whatever, you just don't have to push top and mid.
Mhm.
Or let it somebody else do it. You don't have to do it as carry. Those are like many like exceptions like these, but they will like be learned over time. Like I would say, even if you still go top and mid, even when this happens, like you go to the lane of guy that threatens you already, uh, without him forcing him somewhere else, it's still kind of okay. Like because you still can farm the triangle and everything. You can draw the line very close to your towers because you will die one time, so you draw the line
Yeah.
closer to you, and you will still be in okay place on the map. Like it's like natural place for you to be in, and it's most necessary to do it, and it's the easiest lanes to shove. They are the easiest. Um, yeah. Uh, Also, I'm not sure if I wrote it there, but actually, maybe there's like fifth point of if 5 heroes are on top,
Mhm.
I will TP bottom
Okay.
as
Okay.
Underlord, as Herald, but not sure if I should even add this concept to it,
Yeah. So
because it's gonna mess up it's
the
gonna mess
idea.
up the
Yeah.
game for heralds like a lot, because they will not know like how to do it and when to
Yeah. This
like
require map
transition
awareness, which
towards
is another
top.
concept.
Yeah, so I would still probably stay top and just die it or whatever, like what's gonna happen is like they kill your tower top, and your team either takes tower or you guys take the fight on top, which will be advantages for you. So I would say like still staying top is kind of okay, it's okay. Um,
So Itachi is asking us like, so like when I play position 5, can really jungle? Can I? Or so I skip the jungling part and shove the wave. I think if the waves are not shoving, like and
uh,
no one is doing it, like as carry, you should do it.
uh, Again, it all the rules that I wrote down, like those four rules, let's say four or five, more like four rules that I wrote down, they apply to this question of yours. So watch the video like from this and like search for those four things that I said to like understand it more, and I will still like answer it for you. So like when I play position 5, I can't really jungle, can I? You can. And the concept was that um, you first need to do your job, as Bernard said. So shoving top and mid, and once you do it, you can do whatever you want. But simplistically said, the whatever you want should be translated as just jungle near the lanes, dude. Like somewhere where you feel like you cannot die or something. That's it. Even as position 5. And only time I wouldn't do this is if somebody from like higher position is doing it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The point is that whenever you climb on the ranks, probably someone else will be doing it. Like a core will be doing it. So this means that you have the free time, which Scenario is talking about, which should be translated into your support roles, like warding, dewarding, etc.
Yeah, yeah. That like these concepts or like this whole like strategy of how to approach the Dota game can be improved like so many ways, like smallly improved so many ways. There's so many small concepts that can be like that improves these concepts. But what what I was what I'm saying is the core of it, which is the most important. Like I can say, for example, small side concept of this, how to improve this is, for example, if you play hero that like threatens them to jump on them, like let's say you play Mars, right? He has W, he has wave clear, right? But he doesn't have to show always on the or axe. He doesn't have to always show on the lanes. And if somebody else is doing it, the first time I talked about, if somebody else is doing it, you just draw the line further, and you still like can shove it with him or whatever. But if you improve this concept, you can actually like stay near him and don't show, and that
Mhm.
will escalate into you getting some advantageous fight, kills or whatever. Or this can be improved by uh,
There's
stacking
so
while
many
you're
ways.
doing
Yeah,
this stuff. Yeah, like there are billion ways how to you can improve this. Yeah.
yeah. So
So
I think it.
if there's like any more questions, somebody just write the like scenarios like this and ask the question, and I will try to answer it.
So nice, really nice replay, man. Like really didactic stuff.
Yeah, whoever wants to download it can do so. It's this one, I think.
Fog you. So I'm gonna go back for replay scenarios. Thank you so much, man.
Fine in your base. Then can you open that
Oh,
replay again, Bernari,
yeah, sure.
and show him the part when we were in base, kind of. Where we were in base, I still stick to to my four rules. So I said that first I focus on the top and then I
Yes,
focused on the mid, right? So I drew the line on top and then I drew the line on mid. And what I did was I was just shoving top.
I think it's close
So
to
I
here
was
already.
never I think confined is like being forced to stay in base, right? That's the word in English, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so So I was never because that usually doesn't happen that you're forced to stay in the base, because what happens is there's always like not always, but usually in especially in lower tiers is that only 2 out of 3 lanes enemy is occupying. So you will just take the third lane that enemies aren't in and you shove it. So since I only knew about top and mid for simplistic version of it, I just went like to the left, let's say, like to be the most safest, and just walked, walked on that lane and shoved it. I don't
Right.
know where it was, but I think you already saw it somewhere. I think you already saw it somewhere.
Yeah.
So is it this one or what is it? Oh yeah, this was that we were. Uh,
Yeah, this is where they threw by going in front on here.
but he was, he was like talking about how to how to solve this, right? I think you already um, like went past it. I think it was when I went top where they were pushing mid and killed
Oh
our
no, it's here, it's here.
Raxis and ours, right? Or is it here?
It's here.
No,
They,
it's
they,
not
yeah,
here.
they take Roshan, and then you, yeah, you go do it because they're pushing mid.
Okay,
There we
yeah,
go.
now see, look at it, and yeah, can you rewind back like to 48, 30 or whatever, just for him to see it again, just to know like how to do it, because right now they are basically have ages and everybody normally would be try stay in base. So as my team doing, right? This is the normal Herald play, right? Herald just will go into their base and stay there and just wait there. And what I do is I just walk and draw the line and just push it forward.
Yeah, I think
Even if I
you
die,
can
I
do
don't
it
care.
again. You can do it again. Let's see.
Yeah, and I just wait here because what I can do is either jungle or do whatever I
So
want.
you do it
So
again.
this is like
So
advanced.
yeah, there we go. They took Roshan.
Yeah, like if they kill me, so be it. You're not gonna win 100% of the games with this concept, because this is the simplistic version of it. But you're gonna win, for example, 70%, 80%. It depends how good you do it and how low your rank is, basically.
Yeah, yeah, and this results on the mid are taken. Yeah,
So and again, like the mindset is important. What's important about everything is the mindset, not like
the
because the
mechanics
mindset
are the
will
small things.
basically
Yeah,
mindset will basically change what your decisions or your like behavior. Your mindset will change your behavior. I d- like and it's like how they pushed our buildings. Normal person will say, "Fuck, my base is being killed. I will immediately I will. Do I mute everyone when I do this? Yes. Um, fuck, my base is. Fuck, my base is being attacked. I need to immediately defend, or I will not get out of base, or I will fight them outside of the base, or whatever. Some stuff like that. Some chaotic stuff. But my thought was, well, I need to be ready to push out top and mid, and that's it. So I was pushing top is already pushed. When the mid will pass the high ground line that I drew, I will TP back. That's it. And only reason why fight was happened there on our on near our throne is, and I fought them, is because they were in middle of that creep wave I wanted to kill. So like they showed there, so let's fight, guys. Just because for that creep wave. Who is stopping you? Yeah, like the muting part is uh, to me it happens me a lot like that. People like rage over stuff, and once they don't understand your play, they will hate it kind of. They will like ping it and say bad stuff and stuff like that. Um, so and it will happen always. Like there's no other way around it. So whenever you play worse or better than the opponents, that's the time that your team will ping you because you're not doing what they did to get to their ranks.
Hmm.
So whenever you're doing something either worse or better, you will just get pinged. And yeah, that's why I recommend muting because they can always only advise you stuff. Like usually they can advise you only stuff that got them to their rank.
Oh, I see.
So
Yeah, whenever you're not in the rank, you're.
if but if you don't feel distracted by it and you don't care that about these distractions, you don't have to mute them. If you still want to like read what they write and stuff.
Yeah, maybe we can clip this stuff and send on Discord. I think it's fine. I think it was really helpful, especially for people who are on the lower brackets. Okay, scenarios. I'm gonna do some replays now for the boys. We still have 1 hour for stream here.
Yeah.
So, but I think are you sticking by here? Like, because the guys might have some other questions there.
Yeah, I will also like send in chat some other replays of the very similar like thing that I did on position 5 or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was this one because like I only played like one game where I like absolutely applied only those 4 rules. All the other replays I have are with like the advanced stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Uh,
So send them all. Send them all.
uh,
Okay, guys. So let's see who's on the list here for the replays. The next replays. Scenarios is gonna send more replays. So scenarios.
maybe I'm not even sure, but I'm not sure if I did those things there. So
Yeah.
we
Maybe it's a good idea for you guys to try to apply those stuff that he did and send replays of this and how this go. Especially guys which are until Archon or something, right?
maybe this one is with Jakiro. Position 5, I think. I'm not sure. I'm just sending random replays, but I usually do similar stuff to this in every game myself, so it can be basically any replay.
So